been just over 12 months since I've worked on this. Well, it'll be very near to 12 months anyway. It is over 12 months, there's no doubt about that, because I was getting it ready for Valentine's Day 2016 to romance the princess. To any normal person that will seem as stupid and as lame as, but I'm not normal. So, since then I've got a new blower drive shaft, one new injector and a gasket. So the plan is, we're going to have a bit of a go. I've got really not much else I can be doing on the farm at this particular stage. I'm waiting for this wet season, it hasn't happened. So the blower, that's still free from last time. There we go. Look at that. Wonder what I had caught in there. Something. It's as free as a dicky bird. Almost. When it is, I'm sure. So I've got a few mud wasps to clean out. Some other things. Get the rust off the block that's fallen on the side where the blower bolt's on. Then we're going to bolt this friggin' thing back up. There's actually a fair bit to do. Okay, so we can see it's got some surface rust. The mud wasps have blocked up all the rust holes, all the bolt holes on things. All the ones I left un-earplugged. I normally stick earplugs in them all. So these ones here, down there where the water pump goes into the block. We've got a rag up in there. So we've got some work ahead of us, and it's about 3 trillion% humidity. Okay, sort of cleaned all the shit off there, but look at this crap. Like, really? Hang on. Then we'll go look at all this. This might be standard in the Detroit, I don't know. 2-stroke, so I guess it's not really that filtered from air, because this just drains out of the air box. I suppose I best get it out. It's under pressure. If this is a 4-stroke motor, I'll be concerned. That probably means, I don't know what it means. Probably means farmers like you, Paul, should not be touching this. Anyway, it's cleaner than it once was. What a epoxy piece of shit. It's hard to believe that these things are as good and reliable as they are. This is a blower gasket, and like everything, things get a bit tarnished. It's such a tight squeeze between the chassis, so I've cut a fresh one. It's probably not the right thickness. It's probably not the right thickness or anything, but it'll do. Anyway, it's such a tight fit in there. Right, oh, there's whatever there is, however many fingers that is, 2 fingers, 2.5 fingers. So I'd try to drop the gasket down in here. Hey, update. Time for an update. Blower's all on, bolted up after much fun arguing around. You've got the gasket in behind there. Had to cut a new gasket because the other one got torn in half. Still got to connect up the fuel pump to blow its drive sleeve things on. The water pump's all connected up down in there. There you can see down in there, that's connected up. The this took bloody now just to get this hose on because you had to undo the bolts around in here further. Between that and the radiator. Oh, made a new gasket for between the governor here and the head. Everything seems to take forever. I think all the oil coolers are. No, I've just got to do a bolt up down there. I've forgotten about that one. There's a bolt down here and the hose for the oil cooler. Jesus. And the next thing I think is I'll put the injector in and do all the timing on it, the valve clearances and things. I think it's 4:30. I've been going for hours. When you adjust the valves on this, you've got to start with the bridging piece. It's a 4-valve head. So you got to, but to do that, you wind it over to the injector, the middle rocker, and each cylinder is fully down. And that way you know there's pressure on these. And you adjust the valves first and then the timing after that. Useless information. Okay, then once you've done that, you pull these 2 injector lines off the injector. So you have it wound over with the injector fully compressed. You pull those 2 lines off, and then we undo these 2 bolts so we can stand the rockers up. Okay, so once you get that done, you undo those 2 bolts, you can lift that up, the rockers up, and you pull off the bridging piece that bridges out the 2 valves. Hang on, can I get this here? This is a 4-valve head. Now you've got to undo the lock nut on the bridging piece. And you do that off the motor because apparently you can twist the bit that just slides up and down on inside the head and damage it if you were to do it on the motor still. Then you get said bridging piece and you put him back on and you push down with your finger. I'm sure someone will tell me I'm wrong. And you turn that down till it touches the rocker, and you can feel it if your finger's any good, and you go about another 1/4 to 1/8 of a turn. Spin it down by hand, the lock nut, then we run that back over to the bench and do that again. Then we repeat that on a second bridging piece. Oh, there we go. Okay, you stick that back on, make sure he's nice and square, we bolt him back down. Torque him up. Just check them a couple of times, I reckon. Be nice and gentle though, don't yank on them. We'll end up with... So the next thing, feel the gauges, 17 thou. Now, under here, where we've just adjusted that, you don't do it under the rocker, you actually do it under here, I believe. There you get 5/16 spanner, and you come around to this side, you can grip on the push rod here, you loosen that off a little bit, and we can actually feel. So that's loose. There won't be much. And we just when you nip it up, it seems to go tight again like that. See, that's fairly tight, so I might just it's got possibly a little bit loose now, and I'm only going not even an eighth of a turn. Spin it around like that a little bit. Dip him back up again. Yeah. So sometimes they actually come out right, and some of them need quite a lot of adjustment. And the only reason I've got to do all these is because can't even get that in there. There we go. It's in now, and you can feel how loose that is. Because I had it all apart, if you remember back to over 12 months ago. Holy Jesus, tight. If you remember back to 12 months ago, I had it all apart. I had the rockers out and the injectors out. So, let's see how we're going. Yeah, that's fine. Put these lines back on. You've got to put this one back on first because it's too hard to get the spanner in this end with the other line on. 1/2 inch spanner. Nip him up real tight. Not real tight, it just needs to be done up, otherwise you'll just split the pipes. And then you'll leak diesel into the motor. And that would be a pointless exercise. And just farming is enough of a pointless exercise, let alone trucks as well. What were you thinking, Paul? Next one to check is number 4. I know, it's all a bit unexciting. That's number 4 there. So if you watch gently, carefully, you'll see me just wind it over. You can see this middle rocker is going down. And we see that. There you go, it's not going any more now. So that's number 4 down. That's the next one we do. Okay, the next thing we've got to do, we've done all the exhaust valves, you just wind the motor over. We've got to do the injector timing. Now what you've got to do is, have a look at this picture here. It shows both the exhaust rockers are fully up, or the valves are fully compressed. And there's the injector in the middle, injector rocker. And over here there's a measuring tool. And it's got a set distance of, well, there must be a couple of tools, I don't have one, 1.484 of an inch. So what you do is, you set your vernier to 1.48 and you use the bottom, I use the bottom, as the measuring tool between there and there. And that will give me the 1.484. You set your vernier and you lock it. This is how I've never had the proper tools, so it's only amateur hour here. And then, between this part here, the injector, and this is actually setting the timing that the injector fires at. So, loosen that one there off, and this one here, you stick him in there, on top of the deck. 1.484, and we'll reduce, hang on, increase. We'll try it like that. I think it might need to go. But they sort of seem to grow when you nip up this lock nut. It takes the strain out of the thread. 1.484. Now people say you need a proper tool. I don't particularly see why, but I don't know what the heck I'm doing. It's a problem. injector stuck. Okay, I was doing the last cylinder, checking the timing on it. I noticed the injector was stuck down.